how to explain to her is I'm like, you say I'm poor. I go through the horrific stuff. I did therapy. No, I still have the stuff. But I know. Yeah, but before it was like, if I was in the meeting, it'd be like, right? So I should do that. Stand up. I know. Grew up super poor. My parents, for like 2 months, we had to put like boiling water in the bathtub just to bath. Because we didn't go shower for 2 months when I was in high school. Then, like, went through like a super depression phase, quit school twice, like all this horribleness. Grew up on YouTube after 10 years of posting videos. And then they're like, oh, you're privileged, oh, you're white. They should think you're your channel because you're just like a white guy. Then I explained the whole thing to her, and she's just like silent. I'm like, so what's privilege? What's privilege? Yeah. In fact, wasn't you recently on a video? You said, oh yeah, it was on Ruben Report. We were talking about that. Yeah.
Hopefully she gets unveiled.
And if you look at like the amount in America, in fact in Dakota after I died, she finally revealed the stat that are more whites per capita. So don't blame crime on poor people. I'm poor. I never robbed anyone. You know what I mean? I stole at a convenience store for a bit. I stole a couple things. Well, I don't know if those rather like a grocery store. Yeah. But that's when I was 16. I'm 29 now, right?
You're my face. It is the best man-spreading debunk video I have ever
That was definitely on his hand. Yeah, that's an extra time. Wisdom funds. He's been known to celebrate for 12 hours.
Hello everyone, how's it going? Please excuse us while we find our places. Thanks so much for coming to the Women Online discussion. It is so lovely to see your faces. We have a panel of 4 A names, the A team, one might even say, with us today. And just to note that at one point we're going to be opening up for questions, and just start thinking about if there's anything that you maybe haven't heard addressed in Women Online discussions overall, and that you'd like us to talk about. But yeah, really excited to be here. I'm going to ask my panelists to give a quick introduction to themselves and their channel, in case you don't know them, and also tell me what the first video you ever uploaded to YouTube was. I'm going to start right down at the end with Amy.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Hi, my name is Amy Oddman. My channel is Amy Oddman. I do like comedy, LGBT stuff, and the first video I ever made, I'm sure it's gone. I mean, I used to upload like my university assignments, but like the first video I made was like my favorite YouTubers, and I just like spoke about my favorite YouTubers. It's pretty tragic.
It's so hard to hear everybody.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like screaming. You can hear us though, right?
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're just not going to talk to each other.
Okay.
Sweet. I'm Anita Sarkeesian. I run an educational nonprofit called Feminist Frequency, which is also our YouTube channel. We make videos that look at the way women are represented in popular culture. We've just launched a new show called The Freak Show that answers the question, what do media representations have to do with the current political climate? Wow, they're so excited over there. Sorry. Yeah, so easy, lighthearted. The first video, I made a lot of videos before I ever put one online. Like the first one I made and didn't release was about Twilight, where I was like lecturing Bella about how to be less shitty.
Amazing.
Which is not available for viewing. The first video I actually put up though, I was so mad. This is gonna date me a lot. I was so mad that Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles got canceled, but yet they gave another season to Dollhouse. And you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, and I was so mad, so I made a video. Don't watch it, it's really embarrassing.
I'm definitely gonna watch it now. What's up, guys? My name is Ali Speed. I started off daily vlogging, did that for a really long time, and I also do a lot of like gaming and travel content. I did some lifestyle stuff, not so much anymore. Had a series with my brother called Drunk Gaming on my channel, a lot of fun. And I honestly can't remember what the first video was that I uploaded because I had another account before I got this one. But the first like real one that I ever did was a horrible parody of 303. So there's that. That's forever. So.
Hey guys, I'm Asante. My channel is Asante the Artist, and I talk about social issues and young adulting through a creative lens. I started vlogging in college, and so my first vlogs were all about like college life and campus and tours. So my first video was like my freshman year of college, like touring around the campus and like using all the cheesy iMovie effects that I had like just gotten, the Ken Burns effects, the Ken Burns, all of that. Yeah, so that's me. Great, and my name is Josiana Hosrojas. I've been making videos on YouTube for like 11 years now, so my very first one was talking about the title of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It was recorded direct upload to YouTube on a very fuzzy webcam, and I don't think the sound works in it anymore, so it's a loss to the world, I assure you. But I mean, something I kind of keep hearing any time there's a women discussion, but also, to be frank, by people who are participating in it, is why do we still need to have these discussions? Like, haven't we talked it all to death? Like, haven't we talked about harassment enough? Why do these panels still need to happen? And I was kind of wondering whether anyone had any input on why we should still be having a women online panel, and whether there's a sense of things changing or improving, just kind of broadly, thinking more broadly.
Well, I could be wrong, but I think there's someone in the front row that is a notorious harasser of mine that's filming this panel, so I think it's important to keep having these conversations.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's definitely, I think these types of conversations about like harassment, not just harassment, but just like representation in general, like minority groups, is because it's drummed up so much now, because people talk about it so often, you get like also a massive uprising of people trying to shut it down and people trying to be shitty about it. So like I think it's really important to keep talking about it. And I know we were also discussing that sometimes people feel like they either can't talk about it or they don't want to because they don't want to deal with shit like she has to deal with, or let anyone, that any woman who's ever posted anything online has to deal with, which people don't know about. And that's why it's important to keep talking about it, because there are people that feel like they can't stand up for themselves. I mean, even for me, like I know personally, I didn't talk about feminism or women's issues or like LGBT anything like for a really long time because I was a little bit nervous. But it's gotten to a point now where it's gotten to a point now where I realize that like that stuff, that conversation and like starting those types of dialogues is so much bigger than who I am as a person. Like talking about this stuff is so much more important than like whether or not people give a shit about who I am or what I'm doing. And, like if the conversation can be started and like people can be educated about these things, that's why I do it. That's why a lot of people that I do it, because it's so important.
And so when you guys first started your YouTube channels, I'm wondering if there are any obstacles that you first, at least in the early days, came across that felt particular to your gender or to any other part of your identity that you were surprised about, or whether there was something that came on kind of a year or two in that also made you think, well, maybe my experience is different as a woman creating online.
I mean, I mainly speak about like as a gay woman, I usually speak about like LGBT and I'll give a lot of advice on that. So I don't really like have the same harassment that you guys have, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think for me, like getting comments about your appearance or like having people in the comments like wanting to be my boyfriend, I'm like, that's so weird. Like you wouldn't just go up to a stranger and say that. So like, why would you say it in my comment section? So just like really weird stuff like that.
Give me the question one more time.
Oh yeah, so when you first started, or even like a year or two in, were there any obstacles that you came across that you also thought were particular to maybe gender or other parts of your identity?
Oh my god, there are just so many things though. Yeah, that's a really huge one. I mean, people talking about, or people being concerned with appearance, like more than anything else. Like, it doesn't matter what I had to say or what the video was about. Like, I mean, also it's kind of funny though because I feel like when I get those types of comments, like when people attack me for my appearance, I'm like, that's fine with me honestly because it means you can't refute what I'm saying in the video. So like, I guess it's fine because you can't like say anything about the argument or whatever thing I'm putting forth. Like, you're not directly going against what I'm positing, so that's fine. So yeah, the appearance thing is definitely a huge one. Just the fact that people feel like they, because they're anonymous or whatever, they have the right to or can and should just be shitty to other people. I'm trying to think like another really big one too is kind of women being pigeonholed into doing certain types of content, which I think is really crappy. I love beauty content. Like I love it. I watch it all the time. It's great. I've learned a ton of stuff from those women. But I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a fucking, sorry, I'm swearing so much. I've gotten an email from someone being like, hi sweetie, like we want you to review this beauty product. Like we saw like one video that, like they clearly only saw like one thing on my channel. Like cause I did a favorites video or something, or I did a makeup tutorial once. And it's just annoying that people assume that like that's the only thing that you're good for. And I've had networks reach out to me saying like, we want you to specifically create like beauty content. I'm like, if you looked at my channel in the last 5 months, I haven't done anything like that. And I think people just expect you to do certain things, and if you want to branch out into tech or gaming or anything else that is like traditionally like more centered around men, it's like absurd and people don't take you seriously, and that sucks.
When I started out, it was a lot of kitchen and sandwich jokes, which was just like,
fun.
you know, we've
So
all experienced
original.
that shit. Yeah. Like literally, when I get harassment that actually is original, I kind of have this moment of like, oh cool, you tried, right? Because the thing is, it's just all the same, right? So, you know, it was very similar to a lot of the other women that I've seen online get harassed, right? Like we kind of buckle down and we expect it, which is such a horrible place to be. And then when I launched a Kickstarter to fund a series of videos that would look at women in video games is when my life completely changed. And I had a massive cyber mob come after me, and they have still been after me for the last 5 years. And it was this interesting moment because I didn't even release a video on the topic yet, right? Like these primarily men lost their minds so aggressively that I was being doxxed, I was getting bomb threats, they were going after my family, just all kinds of stuff, in addition to the you're ugly or you're like I want to fuck you or whatever the disgusting things that they do. Like they can't make up their mind really on what they think. And I think that what's sad about it is there's this playbook, right? Having been in this space and being an advocate to end online harassment, you just see that it's the same garbage over and over again, and it's devastating because you're watching these women's lives be destroyed. And I think intersectionality is a really important point here because the way that women of color and the way that trans women and the way that women with disabilities get attacked online is different, and it's compounded by all of these different intersections. Yeah, and so I think it's a conversation that needs to keep happening, right? If you Google my name on YouTube, you get shitheads like this dude who are making these dumbass videos. Garbage human.
Why don't we just talk?
Whatever, dude.
Exactly.
But it's, you know, like the fact that these dudes are making endless videos that just go after every feminist over and over and over again, I think is a part of the issue of why we have to have these conversations. We don't just get to be online. We don't just get to participate like everyone else.
Yeah, the other question I was going to have to that is that I think a lot of women, I'm curious first to say, how many of you have a YouTube channel? And how many of you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel or had one and were maybe discouraged and stopped because of the way you saw women being treated. So that's the thing that I find really sad to see as well, is that not only does it affect creators in a very personal way, it also discourages a whole generations and generations of female creators from having access and comfortable use of this platform. I'm also wondering, I had a weird question. There's this place called The Wing in New York, which is a throwback to this concept of women's clubs, which existed in I'm guessing, I think it was 1940s and 1950s, places where women got together, women-only spaces, and talked about their lives. Unfortunately, mostly white women-only spaces. They weren't the most intersectional places ever. But The Wing is an example of a place that kind of straddles the Soho House members club vibe, but also does bring in all kinds of women who have thoughts on all kinds of issues and gives them a platform. I'm wondering whether you guys feel like there needs to be a physical space for communities of women, or how you would see supportive networks of women coming out in a way that could both encourage potential creators, but then also provide the kind of support that you do need when your personhood is being attacked in an ongoing kind of way. Are there any ideas of ways that you would want networks of women to form, or that you have seen effective?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and shout out some women communities. FemTube, which is, it's a Twitter chat that happens, and also a playlist of videos from women creators. Those are things that Allie Taylor and Rowan Ellis run. Those have been really cool to see, and a way for women to connect over social media. There's also a Women on YouTube Facebook group, which has been really cool, which actually sprung out of one of the women panels from Vidcon a couple of years ago. But I found those to be pretty helpful. And physical spaces would be an interesting thing to try and crack, perhaps having things at the YouTube spaces.
That's
maybe?
difficult. Yeah, it's hard because everyone's so because of the nature and how people have access all over the world. It's tough to do that. It would be cool to see something like that. Yeah, for sure. I wanted to talk about this again. I'll write it down.
Hashtag FemTube.
FemTube, that's easy. I'll remember that. Yeah, Miss Clicks is one, but specifically for girl gamers. I think Anna Robinson, maybe kind of handed founding it. They do stuff on Twitch, and it's just kind of a collaborative online community. I think they have a Twitch, just Miss Clicks. So that's a good one.
I think it's so easy to feel isolated online, right? That if you're a solo creator, you're just making your own videos and doing your own thing, or if you're getting some harassment, you might not you might think you're the only one. And I think over the last several years, we've seen such a rise in women talking about their experiences, continuing to do the work, and also talking about what it's like to be a female creator. So if people feel women feel less isolated in this space. So I'm not familiar with these groups, but I'm oh cool. I'm interested in what they're doing, because it's so important that we sort of band together in a lot of ways and support each other through this space, so that we can be stronger and resilient and continue doing the important work that we're doing.
Yeah, because I think it's unfortunate, like you said, when someone feels like they're getting attention by doing this, by bothering someone or harassing them or something like that, it definitely does discourage conversations from happening, because it feels weird. Targeted harassment is not a fun thing to deal with ever. But yeah, I think you're right. It's just making women feel comfortable to speak out about their experiences, so that other women, if they decide to branch out into any creative fields, can recognize a problem when it's starting and stop it from getting out of control.
And it sucks, because I am often the poster child for online harassment, right? Which is just kind of a gross thing, and I don't want my experience to discourage other women from participating and engaging and doing, making beauty videos, or making videos about gaming, or making videos about whatever the hell they want to make, because they should do that if they're interested. And so how do we create a space that really makes women feel a little bit safer doing that, or feel more connected or more group-oriented? Because the thing that I've learned over the last couple of years is that there's all these behind-the-scenes networks of women and this sounds super conspiracy theory, but it's like, you know, hey, can you talk to my friend, she's getting some harassment, or hey, my friend wants to start a video series, can you talk to her about it? And none of this is public, it's all kind of like behind the scenes, and plugging into those networks I think is really valuable.